What's good, everybody? This is Joey OT back with another video, and today we're gonna rank hoopers in the YouTube community. These are the people that I personally watch, and all of you guys should know who they are. There are 19 YouTubers that I put on the list. And just a disclaimer, please do not get mad at me if I didn't put your favorite YouTuber on the list or a certain person on the list, or didn't put a YouTuber in a certain spot that you don't like. This is just my personal opinion, so please don't get offended by it. Before we do start, I'm going to name the 19 hoopers that are going to be on the list, so let's get to it. We got Chris White, Cash Nasty, AJ JLAW, T-Jazz, MK, Devinthelab, Marcelas, Kane, White Iverson, CRASHDUMMY, KSHOWTIME, Jesser, LSK, FLICHT, GeoWise, R2, FRICA, and Kenny. These are YouTubers I'm going to rank today, and yes, I know I'm missing a lot. These are just the YouTubers that hoop a lot and are most known, so let's get to the rankings. Number 19, we got FLICHT. Reacts to offense C, defense C, handle C, 3-point shot C-, mid-range C, finishing D. He might be 19 in the list, but he has improved much over the years. He is a far better player than he once was. He's going to keep improving, hopefully, but 19 is not a bad spot. I'm not saying that, but he has improved. But compared to these other YouTubers, he's number 19. He can work on his 3-point shot and his shot IQ of the game. He still has a lot of work on offensively and defensively, but he's not that bad defensively. The things I think he needs to work on the most is his stamina and his finishing around the rim. If there's any contact at the rim, he cannot finish whatsoever. He needs to work on that a lot. Hopefully he can keep working on that and getting better. Next up, we got GeoWise with offensive C+, defense D-, handles B+, 3-point shot B-, mid-range C, finishing C. When he tries, he's actually pretty decent. If he wants to get better, he needs to stop all the dribbling. I understand he does that for content, but if he wants to get better, he needs to stop dribbling. His 3-point shot isn't even that bad. He just needs to work on the shots he takes. The things I think he needs to improve on the most is defense and his shot IQ. I think FLICHT even has better defense than him. I mean, FLICHT has pretty bad defense too, but at least he's tall and he can block some shots. GeoWise can't really do anything at all. So that's all I have for GeoWise. On to number 17. Next up, we got Kenny CHAO with the offensive B, defense C, handles B+, 3-point A, mid-range B, finishing a C. I know Kenny actually used to be pretty good, but recently he hasn't been good at all. Like, my man almost lost to FLICHT. He definitely needs to work on his defense and finishing the most. Every time Kenny's guarding someone, they just take it to a rack because his defense is so bad. And his finishing, I think, needs a lot of work. I'm not saying he has awful finishing, but it's far from good. The one thing I do dislike about Kenny when he plays is he complains a lot during 1v1s about fouls or him always getting bullied in the paint. He thinks just because someone pushes him out of the way because they're stronger than him when they're trying to back him down, he thinks it's a foul. I personally kind of get annoyed when he does that, so hopefully he'll get better at those things. On to the next. Next up, for number 16, we got R2B-ball with the offensive B, defense B-, handles B, 3-point shot A, mid-range B, finishing C+. Obviously, he's pretty decent, but I think the other 15 people on the list are better. I have nothing really to say about him, so on to the next person. This might shock a lot of people, but number 15 is LSK with the offensive B+, defense B, handles C+, 3-point B+, mid-range B, finishing B-. I'm not saying he's bad because he's so low on the list. I just definitely don't think this is the best Chris we have ever seen. I still think he's a good player, but not better than these next 14 people. His defense isn't that good, but everything else but his game is pretty good. Obviously, you know Chris can light it up from the 3-point range, or he can back you down and shoot that nice fade. And let's not forget about those half-court shots he drains every time. So that's who number 14 is. On to the next. Number 14 is Jesser with the offensive B+, defense B, handle C+, 3-point B+, mid-range B, finishing B-. And yes, I do think Jesser is a better player than Chris right now at this moment. Jesse's a really good all-around player, and he's a scoring threat every time he's on the court. His defense isn't the best, but it's pretty decent. So that's all I have to say about Jesser. On to number 13. Next up, for number 13, we have RYANTHECRASHDUMMY, offense B+, defense A, handles B, 3-point shot C+, mid-range B, finishing B+. I think he's a pretty good all-around player. I do think his 3-point shot could use a little work, but he makes up for that with his mid-range. There's nothing else to say about Ryan, but he'll clamp you up. On to the next person. Up next, for number 12, we got Cash Nasty, offense B, defense A, handles C+, 3-point C+, mid-range B, finishing B. The reason I put his 3-point shot so down low is because he cannot shoot anywhere else but the top of the key. And even with the top of the key, he cannot shoot it very consistently at all. No disrespect toward him at all, but it's just how it is. But if I had to guard him 1v1, I would still guard him top of the key, because sometimes he'll still light it up from there. And we all know the defense is an A. That's what he's known for, his defense. I think the things that he can improve on is definitely his shooting and his mid-range. And his finish could use some work also. I think Cash needs a softer touch around the basket. And yeah, that's all. So on to the next person. Next up, it's KSHOWTIME. The offense B+, defense B+, handles A, 3-point B+, mid-range A, finishing B+. He's definitely a pretty good all-around player. There isn't anything that sticks out of his game that needs improvement. He's just a pretty good all-around player. That's all I really have to say about him. So on to number 10. For number 10, we have none other than Chris White. Offense B+, defense B+, handles B+, 3-point B+, mid-range B+, finishing A. You already know how his game is. He has those handles. His handles have been really good recently. He can light up from the 3-point range. He's a stretch big. He can post you up. He can run the floor. He can bully you. That's just how his game is. Not a lot of people can guard this man, but if he gets better stamina, he'll be a beast. Next up for number 9, we got White Iverson. Offense A, defense B, handles A+, 3-point A, mid-range B+, finishing B+. There's nothing this man really needs to work on except for some defense. You already know this man has good handles and a big bag offensively. That's all I really have to say about him on the number 8. For number 8, we got Cam. Offense A, defense B+, handles B+, 3-point A+, mid-range A-, finishing B+. I don't know if people count him as a YouTuber, but I count him as a YouTuber. Obviously, he's great offensively, and defense he's pretty good. He can light it up from the 3-point range, and he can play some pretty good defense at times. It's a nightmare to guard him because he's tall, and he can light it up from 3. Now for number 7 is Marcelas with the offensive A, defense B+, handles A-, 3-point A, mid-range A-, finishing A-. Not much to say about this guy. He's just really, really good. He can give everybody buckets no matter how tall they are. You always need to be paying attention when he's on the court, and you cannot slack on him. That's all I have to say about Marcelas. On to the next. Now for number 6, it's MK. Offense A, defense A-, handles B+, 3-point B+, mid-range A, finishing A. You already know he's good offensively and defensively. He'll lock you up and he'll give you buckets. People don't think he's that good, and I don't know why. He'll bully you in the paint or he'll light it up from 3-point range. Now let's crack into the top 5. Next up, we got T-Jazz. Offense A, defense B, handles A+, 3-point A, mid-range A+, finishing A. There's not much you can pick apart from his game. He has everything offensively, and he's pretty good defensively. It's a nightmare to guard him because he'll cross you up and then finish with the mid-range. There's no way of actually stopping him when you have to guard him, so you just hope he misses. Next up, we got none other than JLAWBBALL. Offense A, defense B, handles B, 3-point A+, mid-range A, finishing A-. You already know this man has the complete package offensively, and defense he's pretty good because he's like 6'5", 6'4". It's hard to guard him because he's tall and he can shoot anywhere. So that's number 4. Let's go to number 3. And for number 3, it's JLAWBBALL. Offense A+, defense B+, handles A, 3-point A, mid-range A+, finishing A. He's very good offensively and he's pretty good defensively. You have to guard him everywhere on the court. Whenever you need a bucket, just throw the ball to JLaw and he'll get it done. He's just a very, very elite hooper, and he's very, very good. On to number 2. So for number 2, we got Devinthelab FRICA. Offense A+, defense B+, handles A, 3-point A+, mid-range A, finishing A. You already know FRICA is an elite hooper and has everything offensively. His defense is pretty good, but it would help if he was stronger and obviously taller. You will not get a break when guarding FRICA. You have to guard him everywhere on the court. He has no problem stepping into a deep 3 fadeaway and draining it right in your eye. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for, on to number 1. And finally for number 1, Devinthelab. Offense A+, defense A, handles A, 3-point A, mid-range A+, finishing A. I mean, what can I say? He's the best YouTube hooper in the community. There's no way you can stop him, and he'll lock you up. You can't catch a break when guarding him, and when he guards you, you won't be able to go nowhere. So that's going to be it for my YouTube tier list. Hope you guys like it. Comment down below what you guys think about it. This video took me a couple hours to make, but at the end of the day, I have no problem making videos like this. I enjoy these. And just remember, this is my opinion and my opinion only. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the post notifications and like the video. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day.